Hello, Theo.
Hey, this is Theo here. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show today.
No worries. No worries at all.
If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and then how you started in music.
Oh, well, I grew up, I'm now 40, but I grew up in a Christian home with my parents always singing. I was always singing since I was a young kid. And so, growing up that way, I was involved in choir and this was in the Caribbean. So I grew up in Jamaica and I was involved in the choir and in groups and various things like that. And so over time, as I came here to the United States of America, I got involved in more groups and essentially began to sing a lot more and got pushed into the limelight of singing.
Did you grow up in a Christian home?
I did. My dad was a pastor. He's since passed away. But my mom also is a very excellent singer. And so between both of them, I got I learned the ability to sing and harmonize. And
so you have an album, Altars and Answers, your debut album. Could you tell us a little bit about the meaning of the album, the name of the album?
So, for the last, 15 to 18 years, I have consistently written songs and, I'm known as a worship leader here in the DMV area, but I never actually thought that my songs were good enough to be released. And so I, was sitting on these songs over the last 15 to 18 years and decided that when I was turning 40 last year, I decided that this was what the Lord wanted me to do. And so when I started to sit with the songs, I realized that the songs were written from scripture primarily. And so there were songs written out of my worship time or just times of refreshing with the Lord over time. And that's when the altars began to kind of play. It was like, all right, these are altars that I was raising up. And then there were other songs that seemingly were God's responses to my requests, and He gave me lyrics, and those became the answers to the prayers I was praying or the songs I was singing. And so that's how Altars and Answers came about, really just songs from Scripture written to glorify the Lord from that place, and His response from Scripture, as many of the songs are indeed from Scripture.
And I know there's a personal song on the album, My Help.
My help comes from you, Lord. My help comes from you. My help comes from you. My help comes from you. All of my help comes from you. All that I need, you will provide. All of my help comes from you. Comes from you, Lord. And I will not doubt no more. No, I will not fear. I will lift up mine eyes. Oh, Lord.
If you could tell us a little bit about that song.
Yeah, My Help, oh man, that was a song written in a season where I recently lost my dad. And I was just essentially trying to figure out what to do from here. He died suddenly, and I remember I'm crying out to the Lord one night, and just kind of in tears. And I remember just saying, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I remember that response that He took me to the word, Psalm 121. David declared, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. And my help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. And it really resonated with me. He will not suffer my foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber, right? He neither will slumber nor sleep. The Lord is my keeper, and the Lord is the shade upon my right hand. The sun may not smite thee by day, or the moon by night, and the Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. And it just really resonated with me. So it's funny. It lifted me out of the the space I was in, and I kind of just sat with it for the next couple of days, and that melody came to me. I would lift up my eyes to the hills, and so that's where that song was birthed from. Was right out of Psalm 121. Really considering that even in this season of loss and in the season of pain, that the Lord gave us a promise that He will not leave us or forsake us, but He indeed is our help.
There might be listeners who are also going through a season of grief or just some difficult times in life where they're just not able to connect with God. Anything you could recommend that they could do to try to reconnect with God in this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, one of the things I would say to anybody who's just struggling and who is trying to figure out where do you go from here. Life is real. I mean, every single day in this life, we're gonna face new trials. We're gonna face, new quests or questions. We're gonna have these questions. But the one thing I want to encourage them to remember is that God is faithful. And I think the worst thing we could do when we're having doubts or having questions is to run away from the Lord. I think it's okay to ask questions of the Lord. I think it's absolutely okay to sometimes even have doubts because we're human. But the reality is God has given us everything we need in His Word. And He promises to never leave or forsake us. And I think if we continue to run closer, I encourage them to run closer and more into Him, not run away, not allow the circumstance or situation to force you away from His presence, but run into His presence boldly and stay committed to your quest to know Him more and read His Word and pray and ask Him for direction, and surround yourself with people who can also speak life into your season. And I believe God will respond if we pursue Him and not let go. That's been my experience, and I went through that season personally, and it was because of His faithfulness why I can look on the other side of it and say, wow, yeah, certainly I hurt, certainly I went through it, but look at me now, He's brought me out, and He's given me even a greater witness.
Do you have any favorite passages or anything that you're reading lately?
Yeah, one of my favorite passages is actually Galatians 2:20. I'm crucified with Christ. So it's such a favorite word that I wrote a song about it.
He lives in me. Yeah, I'm crucified. No longer I live. He lives in me. Jesus lives in me now. No longer bound. No longer bound. No. He lives in me. Jesus lives in me.
I'm crucified with Christ. Yea, not I, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the body, I live by faith to the Son of God who loved me and gave Himself for me. One of the things that I've decided to do, my mom taught me as growing up, was to try to commit scripture to song so that I never forget it. And that's what I've ended up doing here with a lot of these songs, and with that song specifically, is that's how I remember that verse every time. Literally remind myself, hey, I've been crucified with Christ, and that is the word of the Lord. So that's what I've been lately. I've just been actually studying more on prophecy based on the time that we're living in. I found myself doing a lot more studies on where we are prophetically. I love the book of Revelation. I can't say that I understand everything in the book, but I do appreciate what the book has to offer. And so lately I've been focused on that in the scripture. And the Lord's been just speaking to me through that. So maybe a song will be birthed out of it. We'll see.
Interesting times that we're in right now. Do you get a sense that the Lord's return might be coming soon? I know we don't know the day or the hour, but we are told to be expectant.
It's adding up. I think when I was younger, I used to hear, "Oh, Jesus is coming soon. Jesus is coming soon." I looked up and I was like, hey, well, now I'm 40 and I haven't seen him come yet. But it's interesting as I consider it's just kind of where we are in time and what we're seeing happening all around us and in the world. The Bible's give us insight that in the last days there'll be wars and rumors of wars, and there'll be pestilence and there'll be wickedness in diverse places. And I think we're beginning to see in this season, not that it hasn't happened before, but we're beginning to see that again. And so the real question for me is less about worrying about what the end or when the end will be, and more about really just resting in the finished work of Christ and what that means for us. Recognizing that soon and very soon, as long as we remain committed to the call, then we have the assurance of being saved when Christ returns. And that's really where I'm coming from lately. What I have observed, however, is that Jamaica does have a very strong worship culture now. And so I can see that certainly, there's certain ministries and there's just a lot of great worship experiences and encounters that seemingly are happening across the country. I just have not been involved in it just yet down there. But that's been here. I've had a lot more experience here in the Maryland area and DC area. I'm definitely always interested in, sharing the gospel through song and inspiring the people of God through music. Whether, I don't, unfortunately, sing as many of my own songs as I would like to. But I am known for singing worship songs and other songs all across the DMV area when invited. So, that's where the Lord has me right now. I am trying to do a better job of ministering my own songs as well as the songs of others.
There was another song on the album, Jesus, I'm Yours. A special moment of worship came about with your daughter.
Jesus, Jesus, I'm yours. Jesus, shape my will and teach me to be still. Always guide my way as I run this race. Lord, please lead my life through pain, doubt, and strife. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, I'm yours.
If you could tell us the story on that.
Yeah, so it's interesting. She was about 4 years old, I believe, and we were in the basement. I was sweeping up, just cleaning up, and she was there, and she just started singing, "Jesus, Jesus, I'm yours," and she just kept singing it, "Jesus, Jesus, I'm yours." And so I as a dad would, took my phone out and started recording her, and just had it sitting on the phone for quite some time. And then it wasn't until a couple years later when I started getting back into the writing that voice note came back up, and I picked it up and started hearing the Lord say, "Hey, finish the song." And so her melody became the chorus of the song, and I love it. I love that part because it's really her. It's the sound that the Lord gave to her that essentially inspired the song complete. That's where we are now. One of my favorite songs, got a chance to sing that one with an amazing vocalist here in the DMV. And she's blessed me on that song as a featured artist.
And when you're not writing music or leading worship, are there any pastimes or hobbies that you like to do?
Yeah, so I actually love real estate investing. So I do a lot of real estate investing here in the DMV area. I'm an engineer by training and degree, and so that's really where my heart is in anything engineering, construction. I get the chance to change people's lives by providing really high quality, low income housing here in the Baltimore region. And then I like to spend time with my family, really wanting to, make sure my kids know and appreciate that I'm present in their lives. And that's big for me. and spend a lot of time with my wife as best as I can here as they're growing. That's been the journey. When I'm not doing music, I serve at my local church here, Community Praise Church in Alexandria, Virginia. And over the years, the Lord has blessed us to be able to have an online YouTube ministry. And so my wife runs that channel, but we spend time putting those worship sets together and collages together and posting them on the channel as well. And it's been a tremendous blessing to the world, is what I've seen, and so I'm grateful that the Lord has given me that vehicle to spread the gospel. Well, now I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk, Justin, and blessings to everyone who's listening. I just want to encourage them to stay with the Lord, even in these uncertain times. Just recognize that God is still working, God is still moving. We know the end of the story. If we can just continue to hold on and trust that in the end, even if we're going through dark seasons, which we are all across this world and maybe in our lives, the word lets us know that all things work together for good, even if it doesn't feel good. As long as we're with the Lord, it will work together for good. So I want to encourage them to do that. And then, from our perspective, I'm grateful for the opportunity. And if people want to stay in touch, they could connect with me on YouTube under my name, Theo Milford, or on Instagram, same name, Theo_Milford. Or you could also connect on the website, which is TheoMilfordMusic.com. And I respond to every comment, so there's no comment that I don't respond to, whether it's good or bad. I'm really important that people feel heard and people are known and loved. That's big for me, so that's who I am.
Well, thank you so much again, Theo, for taking the time to be with us today. And
thank you, man. Appreciate you, Justin. Bless you. God bless the ministry.